Hi, everyone. Welcome to the spring preview with Coach McMenamin and boys varsity co-captain Kylan Tatum. And this is for boys varsity tennis in the spring. And so welcome to this interview. Ms. McMenamin, as this is your first year as a boys varsity tennis coach, what is one thing that you were looking forward to doing this season that you were not able to last season?
First of all, thank you so much, Jupiter, for shouting out boys varsity tennis. Really looking forward to the season and kind of taking on the helm for the boys program. Big shoes to fill with Coach Cantley stepping away. But there's a real, really strong and deep tradition of tennis at Lawrenceville. So it's kind of just exciting to step into a program that year in, year out pulls in 40 plus people who want to play. So I think just getting to step up and kind of create some new priorities, and especially as a JV coach the last couple of years, really trying to integrate JV varsity thirds into a truly kind of programmatic experience.
So my second question is for Kylan. So as a player, after finding out that your previous season, junior year, pretty important tennis season, was canceled, what is one thing that you maybe took away or learned from that experience?
I think what I learned, and maybe not entirely what I was expecting, is sort of how much those bonds that our team had formed off the court stayed with us even when we weren't during the season. Like our tennis group chat, even though we weren't having any virtual practices like some of the other teams were, our group chat was staying a little bit active with some occasional memes. So it's great to know that we at least had the opportunity to connect off the court, even though we weren't able to be on the court. But I'm really looking forward to getting back this senior season. We have a lot of new kids too, which I'm sure we'll get into later, but looking forward to making a lot of new bonds both on and off the court.
Awesome. And so this next question is for Coach McMenamin again. And so being able to play in the fall and having a lot of the boys come in and play as well, in preparation for the spring, were you able to work on anything in particular with those aspiring varsity players?
I think it really worked out for tennis players, as the boys didn't have to wait till the spring to really get out there, have some high-level competition, play matches. And so having that Wednesday, Saturday time slots where we're already starting to kind of build some bonds, get a nice team rapport, have some fun together. They weren't super serious practices. We did do a bunch of drills. Kind of Wednesday was our drill day, Saturday was our match play day. So just really exciting to see. We had some beginners come out, then we had definitely some varsity prospects come out. So just kind of getting a feel for what the team's going to be, what the program's going to be, probably from some thirds players all the way up to kind of our top varsity spots. Just really, as Kylan said, we've got some new blood coming in, some new sophomores, some freshmen that we were impressed with on the court, and then finally getting to see right after a season off, some of my former JV players who were looking good and are no doubt going to be stepping into the varsity spot, and just giving some of those returning varsity players like Kylan, Rishan, Brandon, a really solid season, no matter what that's going to look like.
This question is going to go back to Kylan. What is perhaps one aspect that you're looking forward to the most about this spring season? Whether it's, interscholastic sports again or something else?
Definitely. I'm actually not sure if this is going to happen, so I may have to give you two answers. But one of my favorite things is the Maple tournament, specifically because it's usually held at Mercersburg. So it's a nice long bus ride where we sort of tell a lot of jokes to each other. And again, it's a really nice time to bond off the court as well. We do go to a lot more tournaments. I also manage for the girls team, but I've realized that we go to, for some reason, a lot more tournaments than they do. I'm not sure why that is, but we go to about 4 to 5, and they're always really great experiences for us to get closer off the court, which of course helps us when we do play on the court. So if we do have that opportunity, I'd love that. If not, I am very excited to get back to interscholastic sports and to get to know all the new people well, and also to strengthen those bonds with the people who I've played with so far.
Another question for you would be, and for Coach McMenamin as well, is what would make this season a success for the team in general?
I'm going to define success in walking away from a season where people are going to improve, that they're having fun, they're feeling challenged, that we're gonna improve as players and in our match play, whether that's we're gonna play each other and just up our game kind of inter-squad, or if we're lucky enough to get to play other teams. But I think just making sure that players feel at home on those courts, that it's a time that they look forward to every day, just going out there, getting their minds off of kind of the normal stresses of Lawrenceville life and the unique stresses of Lawrenceville pandemic life. I think for me, that's just trying to make it as enjoyable an experience for all the players on the team, from the lowest of the thirds players to number one singles on varsity.
Sounds good. Kylan, you ready?
Yes, I agree. So one thing for me would sort of just to have fun. Obviously, we don't quite know what the season's gonna look like, but we can always like make the most of what we have. And then also to just, again, I've sort of talked this a little bit, but sort of to strengthen the bonds between all the kids who will be on the team. Often like the people, and this is why I really liked having the fall sports, since we got to like the spring sports on Wednesdays and Saturdays in the fall, because we really got to know each other there, and you run into these people on campus, like in your clubs and your classroom sometimes, and really they're people that stay with you, especially if you're young, throughout a lot of your Lawrenceville experience. So really here, just laying the groundwork for them to get better, to improve, and to get closer to their teammates throughout their Lawrenceville career.
The last question is kind of fun. This is for Kylan. Is there one tennis shot that you would really like to improve over this season?
I want to practice as many forehand slices as possible. One of my favorite shots. Now it's becoming the backhand slice, but forehand slice is definitely second favorite. Got it.
Thank you for not saying the tweener.
I did think about it.
Yeah. Thank you two so much for being part of this interview. I hope that was some helpful insight into what boys varsity tennis is going to look like this spring.